Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's R. James back for another video on how to improve your Fakemon trainer designs. We have finally come to the most important part of this tutorial series, the anatomy. This has been requested by a lot of you ever since I started this YouTube series, and I know for good reasons why I didn't make this video immediately is because I want to build suspense. Who am I kidding? I'm actually just too lazy to do it. But you know, here I am, ready to continue this video. So before we begin, make sure you are subscribed to my channel because I'm still just a baby here on YouTube and I'm still trying to grow my YouTube. So make sure that you are subscribed and also to make sure to follow me on all of my social medias. With that being said, let's begin. Anatomy in the Pokemon world is actually the very first art style that I mastered ever since I was a child. You know, as a child, we're still experimenting what kind of art style we're going through. Do we want Naruto? Do we want Dragon Balls? I, for one, actually started with Pokemon. When I was a kid, I actually collected tons of, trading cards for Pokemon, but I didn't actually know how to play it. I only collected them for the sake of references. That's where, I have a card and I try to copy everything that I see. I draw them, and I think that's how I improve. The body proportions on the Fakemon world drastically changed from Generation 9 to Generation 1. You can actually see a huge difference when it comes to art style. On this video, I'll be teaching you the easiest and safest way to draw your Pokemon trainer. Specifically, the Pokemon protagonist that is highly inspired and influenced by Generations 3, 4, and 5. To know more about this topic, you can go back to my part 1 and watch it. Let's begin with our tutorial. First, we need to establish the height of the trainer. Think of its age and body size. You can either go with skinny or heavy trainer, but on this video, we'll draw a trainer that is between 15 to 18 years of age with an average build in a 3/4 position. 3/4 position is the typical pose for the trainer protagonist, where the model is drawn facing 45 degrees angle so that the far ear is just out of view. The first thing you need to do is make a 6 head bases. Just draw 6 circles and line them vertically like this. This will determine the head-to-toe height of the trainer. Where to start still depends on every artist. For me, I usually like to start drawing the head, the neck, shoulders, torso, hips, legs, feet, and lastly, arms and hands. Yes, I actually draw the arms and hands last. Drawing the head can be drawn in an almond shape, round on top and slightly pointy on the chin. After that, we need to draw the neck. Draw 2 mirrored L's using the chin as a center point. If you draw the neck too far behind, it will look like your trainer's head is awkwardly leaning forward. And if you place the neck to the far front, then it's just bad. It just looks bad. Next is we draw and imagine where the arms will be placed. We will not draw the arms yet. Imagine a socket below the shoulders. From there, we'll connect those lines together and proceed to drawing the torso. There should be a slight bump for the chest and make it a bit bigger if it's a girl trainer. The stomach is drawn with a diagonal line, making the slight thrust towards the hip. Where the line ends is usually where the hip begins. For the back, we'll be drawing 2 lines. The first line will be coming from where the armpit should be. Ends just across the chest line is, and another line going down leading to the hips. You can then redefine the lines if you want a smoother body. Now we've reached the lower half of the body. To begin, we first need to draw an oval to determine the pelvis and crotch of the trainer. From here, it gets a bit tricky, since drawing the leg will be a slight challenge to a lot of you, especially if we want the Pokemon style's legs. First, draw 2 lines to serve as a guide. Now, it's important that these 2 lines are slightly bent backwards. Just imagine a simplified Michael Jackson slim. From there, draw 4 circle guides that will serve as the knee and ankle. Now that we have a clear guide, we'll fill it in with drawing the thighs first. Give it a bit of muscle, making it a bit thicker, but gets narrower when you're about to reach the knee guide. Draw a simple crotch. Just a simple line, because we don't want to over-sexualize our trainer. No bulge, as much as possible. Then continue filling in the other thigh and ending on the knee. On the knee guide, remember that our trainer is in a 3/4 position, meaning that this is the right leg and that this is the left leg. The right leg will only have one curved line for the knee and two curved lines on the left side since it is facing forward. Going down to the shin and calves, let's first focus on the right leg. Draw a curved line going down that will slightly bend upon reaching the ankle guide. The calves should be drawn with a bit of muscle in it, then slightly gets narrower upon reaching the ankle guide. For the left leg, it will yet again be a bit challenging if you get this one wrong. Draw the inner line first with a very small and minimal protrusion. Then down to the ankle guide. The outer line should have another protrusion, a bit bigger than the right but not too big. With this, it should not be symmetrical but just balanced enough to showcase both calves. Draw an imaginary line where the two protrusions are and make sure one is slightly higher than the other. They should not be equal. Overall, the thighs and calves should look like a slightly bent letter A. The feet are very simple to draw. The other one can be drawn as to how we draw a foot. Oh, by the way, we will not define the toes here since we imagine this trainer to be wearing shoes. And the other is just a simple deformed teardrop like how I explained it back in part 5. Lastly, we go back up to draw the arms and hands. Remember the imaginary socket on the shoulders? That's where we draw our guide. The reason why I usually draw the hands last is because we can experiment how the arms will be posed. Do we want it resting on the hip, holding a bag, holding a pokeball, doing a fist, or just being dainty? Oh, and by the way, no hands in pockets! Let's face our fears and draw hands. On this trainer, we'll draw one hand on the hip and the other holding up. Following the guide that we established, we just need to fill it in, making sure that the joint point is where we place the elbows. For the left hand, we will draw it resting on the hip. First, draw a triangle as a guide, with 5 guidelines for the fingers. Thumbs upwards, 2 straight, and 2 curled. If you're satisfied with this, fill it in and draw the fingers. Take note that our fingers can usually curl with 3 joints, but for Pokemon style, it can be simplified to just having 2. For the right hand, we start by drawing a leaf-shaped pattern. Add another line for the thumb and separate the upper end for the leaf into 4 segments using stroke of lines. Lastly, add a simple curved line from the pinky to the middle of the palm. And there we have it! You've successfully drawn the easiest and simplest way to draw your Pokemon trainer. With this in mind, you can actually start experimenting when it comes to different body variations. You can extend it if you want someone taller, you can expand it if you want someone thicker. Practice the 3/4 positions first before you try doing more complex and more dynamic poses. Because it's very difficult for someone, young artists out there to immediately jump to dynamic poses without practicing something simple. The way how I draw my trainers now can be described as complex and dynamic. There's a lot of variations. I can do jumping, I can do fighting stances, all those sorts. But some of my trainers, they're still doing the 3/4 position. And to be honest with you, it still took me years to master this, so for you to start here is actually already a huge improvement, a huge progress. So I actually believe in you, so in just a few months or years, you will definitely see a lot of improvement. I hope you learned something very important and very vital today, as this video has been in the making for the past 4 years. You can then watch my other tutorials if you want to accessorize your trainer, add hair, add clothes, line art, and then coloring it. I have more videos coming soon, so make sure that you are subscribed and make sure to follow me on all of my social media. Also, I want to plug in again my beautiful region, the Jade Dynasty. We're about to reach the end point. There's a huge climax going on, so I would suggest that you go follow that page and join the fun. I'll see you on my next video. Once again, it's R. James signing off. Bye-bye!